Hello everyone, welcome to Children Paradise. For those who don't know me, my name is Shivani and I'm a psychologist. I have been dealing with kids from past more than 18 years and I love to be with kids. I love to do activities related to kids and my blogs contain kids related activities and counseling tips. Today I'm here with the most requested topic from my subscribers, viewers and my clients is that the most common questions about kids. So let's hop on to the topic. Okay, so the first question, screen time. How do we reduce screen time? We do know, this is the question asked by my clients to me. We do know that we have to have certain limitations for different age level for the screen time, but we do not know how to go with it. Kids are demanding, kids behave restless sometimes, and we do not know how do we cope up with that. So here I am with this solution of giving your kids less screen time. So I would like to always categorize your screen time with your kids into 3 different priorities. I would like to tell you all that please set priority for the screen time. Okay, for example, my priorities can be categorized into 3 different things. The first thing can be the must have or must needed things for the screen time. That is, we can say avoidable, not avoidable, sorry. Yeah, that we can say not avoidable. The second category we can categorize into can be avoidable. And the third one can be avoidable. Now, let's go on to the first category, not avoidable. Now, first category you should be knowing very well what all are the things that you cannot avoid without giving them screen time. Okay, so that things include your education and stuff which requires a lot of efforts, and with small kids especially because they need a lot of songs and a lot of entertainment to make them learn. So for them, definitely for Ria, my 4-year-old daughter, I do give her screen time. I do make sure that she watches her morning routine, her circle time and few alphabet sounds and few things which she have to learn, which is very important for her to learn. So that we can put in the category of not avoidable. So that educational part has to be given to our kids and that has to go with the screen time schedule. Now, the second category which I mentioned was can be avoidable. Okay, now this category is a very tricky one. There are many things which can be avoidable if we don't give them screen time. It can be dealt without screen time. But you know what? We actually do not think on that. Think little harder and you will definitely come up with a lot of solution with that category. And believe me, screen time will reduce a lot. So for example, with my eldest son Mihan, I usually do that. We do that, sorry, it's not just me. So me and my husband, we actually let him read a lot of books and we allow him to listen to a lot of audible stories. There are a lot of audible things available nowadays and they can also go to listen to podcasts and a lot of things which do not have screen time and they can also give them entertainment and education. Now, the third category is the avoidable one, which we definitely have choice on that. 100% there are many things which are avoidable for screen time but which we do not opt for. So start opting for such things which are avoidable. So like say entertainment things or giving them screen time because we need some time out, some me time. So that things can be avoidable by giving them different various activities. Nowadays parents are very alert and they know everything. There are a lot of social media platforms giving out many things out there. So plan, we just need planning. So plan for that. If you have watched my previous video, I have mentioned about scheduling. Yes, scheduling and timetable is very important. So please do schedule your kids' timetable. Please do schedule your timetable and work on it. So schedule your time and that will help you a lot. Now the next question. The next common question which I have from parents is eating habits. My child doesn't eat, he's a fussy eater. Now eating habits, actually if I tell you, it's a lot depending on the parental style and the disciplinary methods you put in your child, because eating habits really matters a lot. And most of the times you will be amazed if I tell you, but 80% of the time it's the parents' fault there. It's not the child, believe me, because child is just taking what we are giving them. So it's not the child, it's us. We are inculcating those habits and forming those habits into them. So do not start it. Don't start it. We don't even realize when we start those habits in them. Now, many of my clients come and tell me that my kid doesn't drink milk, or he or she doesn't like milk, or maybe they don't drink without sugar anytime, or they consume a lot of sugar. They want this way or they want that way. See, this is not them. It is us. Parents, if you think a little bit, it is us, because we have inculcated that habit into them. When they were small, they didn't know what is milk with sugar, what is milk without sugar. They don't know this differentiation. We have created that difference in their mind by providing them with different alternatives. We have given them so many wide choices. We have given them wide alternatives to select, and that's why they have it. And now when they have it and they know that they have it, they are just manipulating you. So that's how kids are, and we introduced them to those alternatives, and now we want them to switch to just one alternative. That won't work. That will take a lot of efforts and a lot of pains. So I would suggest, especially to new parents, do inculcate those habits from scratch. What mistakes we have done, don't go through that. Do inculcate the habits from the beginning so that it doesn't form into a habit which you don't want your child to get into. Okay, now, and yes, one more thing for eating. There is also complaint saying that my child gets full very fast, or he doesn't feel like eating. I have to be behind him or her for feeding and all. But believe me, parents, I have seen a lot of moms and dads, they just keep on giving something to their kids, and there is no time or there is no interval of feeding your kid. And then when the actual time of lunch comes, the kid is not actually hungry because he has been fed every hour, every half an hour. I have seen, you won't believe, I have seen parents even feeding every 15 minutes sometimes. So it's whose fault is it? Is it the kid's fault? No, it's our fault, because we have been continuously feeding them and they are not hungry. If they are hungry, they are definitely going to eat. Keep that interval. I'm not saying don't feed your kids. Do feed your kids, but we need to keep that interval so that they get that space and they do eat well what they are supposed to actually eat. The last question, common question is disciplinary methods. Many of kids and parents face this at home. There is a lot of issues with dealing with kids and with dealing with their tantrums, and I have many of them whom I know say that my kids are very hyperactive and they just demand a lot of things, and it's very stressful with them, and these things come so frequently that I get irritated, I get frustrated. Okay, now with this I would like to start by telling you one thing, parents. Kids, when they are small, they are very sensitive, all of them. Now, however they are, every child is born with a talent. Every child has a talent. Please respect that talent. Try to find out that talent in your child and motivate him or her to grow with that talent, rather than pinpointing or labeling or giving tags and making them carry that heavy bag with them. And believe me, this bag is so heavy that they carry it throughout their life, and this is what makes them very, very low, and this is what does not give them confidence in life. Okay, now taking my example, I have been a very introvert child, and I never had much friends when I was a kid, and I was very introvert. But my parents always motivated me. I remember them always encouraging me for what I had, rather than tagging me or giving me a label, which most of our generation do. So I think that we should not be tagging on our kids or putting any label on our kids. It is very important, parents. It's okay. It's okay to accept your mistake in front of your child. It's okay to accept your mistake within yourself. Just say, if we are humans and we do mistakes, it's fine. But just accept it. Just accept that we do not have to tag our kids. I have seen many of my friends and many of my relatives and clients tagging their child, and that's really makes me so sad, because that child is going to take that tag along with him or her throughout his or her life, and that is going to affect him so much that you have no idea about it right now. So do not tag your child. Hyperactiveness, or he's very cranky, or he's very lazy all the time. We keep on saying this and we don't even realize that it becomes a tag for them. So instead of tagging them or instead of labeling them, we would rather see the good part of them and just try to motivate them for that. Those were the common things which I had received from a lot of people telling me to make a video on this, and that's what I wanted to tell you all in today's video. So I wish you all a very happy parenting, and you all are doing great. You're wonderful. Just that we need to know some things which are very important for our kids to grow in their life. Thank you. Bye-bye, and I see you soon.